Welcome, Chris Edmonds Radio. Dave and I are laughing because last week we got off the camera and we talked for like, I don't know what, 45 minutes. And
Oh yeah.
I wish I would have kept recording because it was just really great topics. And something that we were just discussing now is people being very rigid with the way they view their day and their training setup, their training split, training after a certain number of meals because they feel like they have to, as opposed to experimenting with different splits. So you were saying like you give people 9 day splits and it blows their mind like
Yeah. Yeah. And they're like, what about chest on Monday? It's like, what if it never falls there? Like, cool. Like your body doesn't know what's happening or what the schedule cares about. Like that one's a fun concept because like if you break it down, like if your gym burned down today and you went to a different gym with, all completely new equipment, are you gonna lose all your gains?
no,
'Cause it's the same concept as that. It's like just your body doesn't know what it's doing. It just knows like that structure helps if you need the structure,
right,
right? But the outside of that, your body doesn't know what day it is or what exercise is being done. All it knows is stress and tension,
right.
you know? And if those two are taken care of, you train hard and it doesn't need to be a set day. And like hell, like even if it's a little bit wonky on your frequency, if it gets done, it gets done.
Right. You know, when when I when I would train with John, it was always like sporadic. It usually wasn't like this thing on the calendar I looked at for months. He would just like, hey, you want to come and train? And I'm like, yes. He's like, okay, cool. What time are you gonna get in? I was like, I don't know. When are we going to train? And he would tell me, he's like, okay, cool. And then I'd say, what are we training? And he would just say, probably back or probably legs. I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. And then the next day we'd wake up, like it wasn't some like really strict thing. He's like, what doesn't hurt on you? And I'm like, I could do arms today. He's like, yeah, I could do arms too. Perfect. Let's do arms. Like, uh, outside of the very first time when I drove up to train with him, that's the only time I knew ahead of time going into it that we were doing legs. And that's because he was, I think, 3 weeks out. Yeah, he was definitely 3 weeks out from Masters Nationals. And he's like, we're doing legs on Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Okay, perfect. I'll be there. I'll be ready to train. And I guess I've never really stressed about, even though I normally train back on Mondays, it doesn't matter if I do something else. Like I was telling you, and I'll let the cat back. I haven't announced this on the internet, but I'm fortunate enough to have been invited to be on Table Talk with Dave Tate on Wednesday. So he wants to film a back workout. Well, on Wednesday, well, normally Wednesday is my off day, and I'm gonna train on Monday. So my thought was like, well, I had back today. Fuck it, let's do back. Let's do giant sets back on Monday. I'll train push at American Barbell on Tuesday after Chaz and I get there. Hit back heavy, hard, progressive overloaded elite. Take Thursday off. Train legs on Friday, and then do back and arms on Saturday. Take Sunday off. Now, as you and I both know, I'm not going to be married to that. That's just a rough outline. That is a tentative plan unless something comes up. If I wake up on Thursday and I feel great, I may train. If I wake up on Friday and I feel beat to shit after Thursday rest day, I may take two back-to-back rest days. Like then I'll train legs on Saturday, train arms on Sunday, take Monday off, train back on Tuesday. Like literally, it's that simple. Um,
Mhm.
but I realize that for so many, they've been doing the same thing for so long that they feel off. Even if have you ever had clients that like they're even like they feel uncomfortable in off weeks? Or if they give you an update and you're like, hey, do not train today, and they're like, but it's Thursday, it's leg day.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like, hey, take a deep breath. I mean, I feel like you've been a couple meals in, you've texted me, I'm like, don't train today. You're like, okay, switching my meals to off day meals. And I'm like, perfect, update me on tomorrow morning. And like literally it's as smooth as that. You aren't rocking in
Yeah.
the fetal position, stressed out about you're gonna lose muscle in your arms because you didn't train arms today. Like you're like, okay, cool, we'll assess tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, that definitely wasn't like that in the beginning, but
Right. Yes.
it was, it was a good learning experience of, all the mix, realizing what like going in and having a shitty session doesn't benefit me.
Right. No.
And like if anybody could take anything from that, like especially with like cold and flu season coming up,
Yeah, yes, yes.
Like every single one of my clients, if you told me you took a rest day because you felt like you're going to be sick, and I'm never going to get mad at you.
Not one bit.
The shit that pisses me off is like Tuesday I felt like I was coming down with something, so I went and trained legs, and now I have diarrhea and I'm throwing up and I have a fever. Should I take a day off? And it's like, should you? Like, fuck, stop going to the gym. Like, you're obviously your body can't fucking function.
Right.
You made that worse. Like,
Yes.
you turned that probably a slight cold, what you could have taken a rest day for, or two and been done with, into
Right.
a month problem.
Yes. And listen, you and I have known because we've done both sides of this. When
Yeah.
you wake up and you just feel off and you're like, ugh, I might be getting sick today. And you start smashing water and you eat a meal and you're like, it digests okay, but not great. And then the next meal digests a little worse. And then like your thirst for water goes down, or at least that's how it is for me. I'm like, ugh. I've rationalized training in that scenario multiple times. Now that I know, I'm like, no, fuck that shit. Rest, nap, hydrate like a motherfucker, and assess tomorrow. And like you said, like I can get over a sickness in less than 24 hours, or I can go beat the piss out of my body and be run down for a week or 2 weeks, maybe a month. So that is a all day long a maturing process. And I think that's something you and I do really well is like you're married to nothing other than following the plan. And sometimes the plan has to change, right? Like I always try to describe this to people as like if you're riding down the road and you have Google Maps on and it says there's a wreck ahead in 2 miles, here's the alternate route. Are you gonna say stay with the original and spend an extra hour and a half sitting in traffic? Or are you gonna go around and only extend your original trip by 5 minutes? Most people are going to hit that alternate route, bro, and not think twice about it. But the moment I suggest to you, Dave, hey man, like that steak's not digesting. How about we try some fish and olive oil? And like, oh no, but my steak is always meal five. What if it's not?
Yeah. That's the biggest thing, especially with bodybuilding, is realizing what like your habits may not be the best thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like it comes up so often of like, man, this food's really hard to eat. How can I make it easier to eat?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And they turn a steak and potato meal into a whey isolate and cream of rice shake.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, all right, cool, calories are the same,
Right. Yeah.
but how does it digest?
Correct. Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, like I am always, in my opinion, meat and rice or meat and fucking carbs
Yeah.
always build muscle better than whey and Pop Tarts.
1000%.
Is it easier to eat whey and Pop Tarts? 100%.
Yep.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
There's no scientific evidence on this at all, other than like I have seen it happen with multiple people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yep.
know, oh, cool. You were eating whey protein and Pop Tarts for your pre workout meal. Now it is chicken and rice, you know, and some peanut butter.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Your performance went up. Oh, cool. You're not holding on to as much fat or water. Oh, cool. The nothing fucking changed calorie wise.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
Weird.
your inflammation around your joints is gone. Oh, wow. I wonder why. Yeah.
Yeah.
For someone like you and I, we can sit back and look at that, and like, that's such like what I would view as like low-hanging fruit. But so many people are like, well, that's the way I've always done it. Well, yeah, maybe it's time to upgrade, homie. Like, another thing we were talking about is like the fascination with training after meal one because maybe it fits their brain space better to go ahead and knock it out early and in my mind, those people always say, I want to get it over with. Man, if I ever say I'm just want to get my workout over with, like someone needs to tell me to stop bodybuilding. Like, no, I look forward to that shit and crave it. I want it to last. I want to savor it.
Yeah.
The way most people eat with those fucking baby spoons, like that's how I'm thinking about training. So,
Yeah. That's like the one thing with bodybuilding that's never made sense to me.
yeah,
Like, if you don't like going to the gym, you're gonna have to make some really hard, like you obviously, if you don't like going to the gym, but you're going to the gym, you obviously have wants and desires with how you want your body to look.
yes,
Right. So you need to have some hard conversations with yourself on like what that actually means. Because like it blows my mind how many people are like, oh man, I want to do a national level show, and it's like, but I'm not willing to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Yes.
And those sometimes are hilarious X, Y's, and Z's.
Yes.
Like I legitimately had people like, I don't want to weigh any food, but I want to do a national level show.
Right.
You're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, good luck doing a local fucking show without weighing food. Like that one's like, could we get you into decent shape for the average American? 100%.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you going to be a competitive bodybuilder on stage dialed in, not weighing a fucking thing? No.
Yeah.
Like that should be common sense.
Yes.
It's the same concept of like, okay, cool. If I roll into Big O Tires with a Lamborghini and be like, yo, you guys got tires for this? They're gonna be like, no, you gotta have to go to the specialty shop because you got a special goal, right? If you have a Honda Civic, they definitely have your fucking tires.
Yes.
But if you have the expensive car, the desire to have the expensive car, you're gonna have to do the the stuff required to own it.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
And such a tough concept, right? Like you and I would consider like the brick and mortar or the foundation of successful competing bodybuilding, building muscle tissue. So many people view as like a deterrent or something they have to like work around through the day where it's like, no, we're just gonna take those action steps, complete them and make it build into my life. Like I don't
Yeah,
I don't think twice about if my plan calls for 30 minutes of cardio. Like ideally, would it be best fasted? Yes. But let's say I need to sleep in. I don't care if I do that at night, in the middle of the day, if I hit 5 minutes of cardio after every meal. That is better than skipping it, right? Like,
hmm
obviously, there's better ways to do things. I could do it post lift, which I hate, but I could do it. I could do 15 minutes before the workout, 15 minutes afterwards. I hate that option even worse, but I could do it. Like, I'm trying to think of all ways to work my goals into the action items I need to accomplish. And it's like, it is 5 chicken and rice meals ideal in a row? Probably not. But if it was that or skip meals or eat takeout, that is the option. That is my choice. Like, would I love some
yeah,
variety of, steak or turkey or eggs? 100%. But if all I had access to was chicken and rice that day and olive oil, I'm going to make those match my macronutrients for each meal. And I'm going to just shut the fuck up and move on to the next day and realize, hey, this isn't a long-term thing. I'm not going to eat that every meal for every day. But for today, I am. And I think a lot of times if people just thought like, oh man, like I can do this, but it will take preparation, timing, and desire. Um, it's
yeah. I mean, that preparation thing is awesome because like it's wild to me. Like I've seen so many, like I can't tell you how many, questionnaires I've looked over, and it's like, how much time do you have for preparing food per week? And they're like 30 minutes. And I almost want to be like, show me your screen time.
yes,
Like I promise you, you can throw some chicken in a crock pot and buy a rice cooker. And if that's the bare minimum of what you want to do, fucking send it.
right, yes,
But like the 3 episodes you watch in a row on Netflix at night, like you could watch two and fucking meal prep for a week.
yeah, agreed.
It does not take that long to cook food, you know, and that's like the where we get in our own heads so often of like we look at that, they're like, oh man, I can't meal prep, I don't have time. It's like, well, how the hell does someone else have time?
Right, yeah,
Someone figured out a way to do it.
yep. You know, one of my really good national level competitors, she uh she sent me her schedule because I was trying to figure out ways to like build a nap into her life. And she's like, Chris, I literally don't have time. And I was like, can you send me what you're doing for meal prep? And man, it was the most extravagant. Like I don't remember the exact hours, but it was hours on a Sunday and Saturday prep, like shopping and then preparing their food. I'm like, I'm gonna make your life really simple. I was like, you have a grill? Yes. Do you have a crock pot? Yes. Do you have a rice cooker? You have an oven? Okay. I was like, here's what you need to do. You're gonna hard boil a shitload of eggs, however many you need for the week, calculate it. Then simultaneously, while you're doing that, you need to grill your chicken. You need to put two giant flake steaks in the crock pot with four bags of those little baby potatoes. Make a giant pot of rice. You have cream of rice, you have almond butter, and you have olive oil. I just made all of your meals in under fucking 2 hours. Done for the week. Now, the crock pot, if you want that, obviously could, if you slow cooked it, it would take 8 hours. But if you start that bitch the night before, you wake up to it and all the meat's done. You let it cool, you shred it, you measure it, it's done. Like, I don't, that's the kind of shit I used to do when I worked at Gold's and I didn't have a lot of extra time, right? Like, is that the way I'd prefer to make all my meals? Hell no. But when time is tight and you actually want to have a rest day or an off day that's not spent in the kitchen for 6 hours, that's how I'd do it. And I think a lot of times, like, people just don't think about it that way. Like, you could put a shitload of baked potatoes in the oven if you didn't want to do those little baby potatoes in the crock pot with the steak. But to me, I'm like, I want the least amount of cleanup. Like,
Yeah. I
you know what I
remember
mean?
back watching Evan Centopani,
Oh yeah.
go to the fucking market and buy 30 pounds of chicken
Yeah.
and 30 pounds of whitefish and then cook all of it and
Yep.
then throw it in Ziploc bags and freeze it.
Yep. Yes.
And he's like, cool, this is 2 weeks worth of food.
Mhm. Yep.
All I have to do is measure my rice or my potatoes and
Right.
add a bag of this.
Yes. Yep.
And he was like, takes me 4 seconds to do that.
Yes. Yeah. That's one of those videos where, and I know you've talked about it on the channel, that protein pancake where he used to make with eggs and oats and berries, and he would just cut it
Mhm.
in pizza slices and bag it for the week. Like,
Yeah.
again, another just banger meal that you can knock out, 6 or 7 of those, and you have all your breakfast or meal one, and you aren't drinking a protein shake. Like,
Yeah.
it, I wish that more people just took time and effort and energy to study this stuff. And I realize that, like, you and I have made this our life. So, of course we're going to watch
Yeah.
these videos and, study bodybuilding. And what's funny is, like, in my mind, none of this started out as a business for me. It was just a hobby. And I just wanted to
I
learn
was
as much as
actually
I
just
could.
talking to Alyssa about this the other day.
Yeah.
Like the crazy trend on, everybody wants to be a coach, a bodybuilding thing, but no one wants to put in the hours of becoming a bodybuilder.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And like, I like that we're the same on this. Like, I legitimately just was like, I want to be a bodybuilder, so I'm going to do bodybuilder things,
Yeah.
and I'm going to become a bodybuilder first,
Yes. Yeah.
and then down the road, someone's like, "Man, you're a bodybuilder. How do I get that way?" And I'm like, "Well, let me show you." And enough people were like, "Can you show me?" Where I'm like, "Fuck, I don't have time for this. I need to start charging people for this."
Right. Yep.
That's
Yep.
why, and that's what fucking happens.
Cool. Yes. Yep. It's really interesting, like what you just said there. The evolution of it is like the way I discovered I wanted to be a personal trainer was I just took my college roommate and turned him into a little freak. And I was like, that was super fun. Because he was like a sponge. Like he had been training but not intelligently. And he didn't know how to eat. And
Yeah,
listen, my level of knowing how to eat was very low then, but it was way higher than his. So when you pair a kid who really wants to work hard with someone who loves to just train their fucking dick off, and then you just eat a bunch of bro food, like, man, he literally looked insane for a college dude who partied on the weekends. And he was stoked. He'd take his shirt off. He was shredded. He had big chest, cap delts, and he was happy as hell. And everyone was like, "What did you do to him?" And they're like, "Oh, you give him steroids." I'm like, "No."
right.
Like, no, no. We just trained like Ronnie Coleman and we ate fucking bro food. Like we just made a habit of it. Like it was fun. And we had a George Foreman grill. We grilled all of our food when we ate in the cafeteria. Like we were really fortunate to go to a college that had unlimited eggs and oatmeal for breakfast and toast and berries. Easy meal one. We drink a protein shake and have oats packets. Meal two with peanut butter. Three was we had unlimited chicken breast and rice for lunch, and then at dinner you could always get some kind of red meat, always and potatoes. We smash that shit. We go train. We have a protein shake, and I just told you so. That we had protein shake, Wonder Bread, peanut butter, honey, banana sandwiches, and then we
Yep.
would just smash meat and carbs before bed. And there was no such thing as main gaining, by the way. It was eat as much as you could, and then try again in 2.5 hours. I wonder why
Yeah.
we both
And
suffered from
of
aggression.
fucking meat and rice too.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
I think that's the funniest thing with nowadays is like, even since I've been, you know, bodybuilding. Like it's funny because like everything on the supermarket is protein packed.
Yes,
And it's
right. Yeah,
like you look at the things that you're like, this is fucking corn nuts. Like, like what protein's in corn nuts?
right.
And that's where so many people are led astray is because they're like, oh man, I'm eating so much protein. And you're eating a Quest bar, rice cakes, and peanut butter. Like none of that was complete.
No, no, no,
Like
no, no.
a good amount of calories, but like fuck.
Right.
You
You
know,
know,
you know, the amount of people who are not willing to like just eat a 10-ounce steak and a 15 ounces of baked potato who complain about not being able to gain weight blows
right.
my mind.
Yeah,
Do
yes.
that 4 times a day, and I promise you'll probably be gaining weight.
Right. Yes.
You know,
It goes back to that Justin Harris shirt, right? Meat, rice, repeat. Like
yeah.
it's notice that he didn't say Greek yogurt, rice, repeat, or Greek yogurt, Rice Krispie treats and complete. Like it's not that hard, boys and girls. It's just not like, speaking about what you just said, it was funny. We were at my mother and father-in-law's house last weekend, and she was like, Chris, like, you'll be really proud of me. I'm having protein for breakfast. I'm like, oh, awesome. Are you eating some eggs? And she's like, no, I'm having protein Cheerios. And I'm like,
Yeah.
is the,
You're
is
like,
the,
ah,
is the box over there? And she's like, yeah, it's in the cabinet. So, of course, you know what I mean? Like, I don't do research on protein Cheerios, but I'm like, I gotta see what this is about, right? And I was like, first ingredient, enriched wheat flour. I'm like, this is just carbs, right?
like,
Fuck. And I mean, the bad thing is like
yeah.
she thought she was doing well.
Cheerios is like we fandangled the nutrition label to make the same fucking Cheerios, but now we can call it protein.
Right, right. And of course, like protein on the label is like this, Cheerios is like this, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
and then it has all the fucking monikers like vegan, GMO, non-GMO,
Yeah.
like man, they have tricked you so aggressively. And oh, by the way, like I'm sure that box of protein Cheerios was $6. Like,
Oh,
oh
that's the wild part, isn't it?
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So next topic here. So I had a couple rants that I wanted to do because it just pisses me the fuck off. Like I posted that video of that Kelso shrug with the barbell. Did you see that on Instagram? Where I'm bent, like doing a bent over.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So envision this if you guys didn't watch it. It's a pendulum row form, but then you just do a Kelso shrug with it. So instead of rowing it, you just shrug your traps up and back, right? Literally, I did that at the end of back before erectors. So I supersetted that Cybex row trying to pull high from my upper back. And then it's walked in that back room with elite with 135 on the bar. And I did 12-ish, depending upon how the sets of those shrugs, right? Just to tinker around with them,
Yeah.
to see what it felt like. Man, it felt incredible. So of course, I was like, you know what? I'll post that. I'm a big fan of Kelso shrugs. I think that no one has too thick of like mid to low trap. Like that's just a muscle that looks cool to me. And of course, this fucking dude on the internet's like, if you did this face down on an incline bench, you could do double or triple the weight. I'm like, yes, I fully understand this. And then he tries to go and like beat down the integrity of me for sharing that with my audience because I didn't put on there that this is suboptimal. And I was like, bro,
Well, I think the best part too is like you just said you were doing this before erectors
right.
exercise sequence, right? What are you doing with those calcium shrugs? You're warming up your fucking erectors.
Shocker, right?
I don't think people realize how much extra like that dude would probably be like, all right, cool, let's go, go home and then not realize why like that's the funniest thing with like I've noticed personally in gyms with all like the exercise science based is no one has muscles from what was just commonly caused by training hard.
Yes, agreed. Yep.
Calves, forearms,
Yep.
you know,
Traps.
the brachialis and traps.
Yes. Yep.
Um, those just happened,
Yeah, right.
and now people are like, I it blows my mind when I see people doing like the cable like forearm work, and it's like, do you not just do heavy rows or pick something up? And they're like, no, all my back stuff is chest supported and with a machine. Oh, they're like, and it's like, what do you do for your lower back? It's like, well, I can't do deadlifts because those are too fatiguing.
Right,
But I'll do a hyper extension and that's it.
right. Yes.
It's like it's like it's hilarious because there's no understanding of like how that works. Like that guy's like, oh, that Kelso row variation, that's too hard on your erectors. It's too much. It's not, you're getting too much excess fatigue. And it's like, I'm bent over with 140 pounds.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Like that's a bare human equivalent of like bottom effort level effort, you
Yes.
know,
Right.
it's not hard to bend over with 130 pounds. Like, I feel like any grown man should be able to do that.
Right. You touched on something very vital that I'm going to share with people. The optimal slash science-based, whatever you want to call that, right? They're going to sit there and tell you that a cuff fly or a machine press is going to be far better for isolating your chest than an incline dumbbell press, right? But I want everyone to think about this. How many miles, Dave, do you think you and I have carried dumbbells that are over 100 pounds in each hand, like a farmer carry, over to an incline or flat bench? I would love to know that total mileage over the course of our bodybuilding, let's just say in the last decade. And you
Yeah,
wonder why our forearms are developed, minus not doing direct forearm work. Like,
yeah. The setup of just getting into place
right. Yes.
is
Uh,
it's like the same thing as like not many people like do a Pendlay row, for example,
right.
or
Yep.
bend over with a barbell. And how many people can't load their hips
Right. Yeah.
like effectively?
Yeah.
You know, their hips are not used to being bent over with weight
Yeah. Yep.
because
Yep.
everything they've done since day one is chest supported. I'm
Right.
not saying the chest supported is bad. I'm just saying like being able to the hip hinge
Yes.
is one of the basic movement patterns.
Yes. Yep.
And it's, like outside of like in bodybuilding, that doesn't matter if you're not basically don't have basic movement patterns. I'm not saying you need to be a functional fucking human.
Yeah.
Like that functional training. I don't, cool. Everything is functional training, but just disregarding being able to like hip hinge
Yeah.
is comical because like I wonder what I would use my glutes for or my low back. It's like,
Yeah.
god damn, it's like you're gonna have them on stage.
Right. Yes. Not that neither you or I heavy back squat regularly anymore. I definitely don't. But I always think there was so much merit in me loading somewhere above 400 pounds on my traps and walking backwards with it. I don't know long term what that did for my body, but I feel like that had to protect me in some kind of way. Like, I always would find it really interesting when I would get guys that would come and train with us and they go to like walk out, like say 315, 275, 365, and it looked like a shaky mess. I'm like, what have you been doing? You should stand up with that on your back, and it should be one right for me. It was right foot, left foot, settle, squat. Like it isn't a bunch of this like weird choppy short shit where you're shaking and can't. You're trying to catch your breath and you're shrugging with the weight and slipping on your back. Like I never understood that. When that shit dug into my traps and I decided to move it off the rack, it was right foot, left foot, settle. Okay, cool. Now squat, motherfucker. Like I don't know. I don't know where I was really going with that, other than like you could just tell people who have been under a load and who haven't. Um, and again, I believe that's the sad thing that this next generation of kids who are obsessed with that optimal shit, they're missing. Because they look at a squat and
Yeah,
they think, oh, that's a lot of hips, or oh, that's a lot of erector, or that's a lot of glutes and hamstrings, but they aren't thinking like what that's doing for the rest of their body or a squat or I mean no, I said a squat or like a deadlift, a bench press. Like not that I'm ever going to have you heavy flat bench press. I'd be terrified you tear a pec, but you and I both have flat benched a lot of weight in our life. We have incline barbell benched a lot of weight in our life. Like, and you want to know how that thickness of through our upper body, like shoulder to shoulder, got there? Fuck off, man. Like, that plays a role. And as much as I may love like the prime incline or the hamstring incline press, it doesn't replicate a dumbbell or barbell, in my opinion, for building a foundation. And
Mhm.
I don't know. I've never, I guess the only true experiment would be to have like an 18-year-old kid who's untrained and you just train him on machines and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, what would it look like? And then at the end of the day, you'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
well, that's if he developed into something crazy, you'd be like, oh, well, he had good genetics. But then if he didn't develop, it'd be like, oh, maybe he has shit genetics. Like you would never know, I guess, unless you took
Yeah.
twins. But I just took one of my husband and wife client couples that I do. I just took on their 14-year-old and I took out a lot of his fluff movements and gave him barbells and dumbbells. And man, like he's after 3 weeks already noticeably better. Like, and he's like, my sessions are hard. I'm like, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
hmm, weird, right? Like, you remove that sideways cuff tricep extension, you have somebody do dips. Yeah. Guess what? Good shit's gonna happen.
Yeah. That always makes me laugh. It's just like there's a time and place for the fancy stuff.
Correct. Yes.
And like I'm gonna be doing the fancy stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm also done the not fancy stuff.
Yes.
And I think that's where a lot of people like I don't want to there's a lot of smart people out there and there's a lot of, on the other side of that coin. But
Mhm.
you're going to see someone who's been bodybuilding for, 10, 15 years and they're doing a cable crossbody extension
Yep.
and
Yep.
you're like, "Man, that looks good. They connect really well with it." And you're going to try it. You're like, "Wow, I feel this in my tricep."
Yep.
But what you probably don't see is what they, learned how to close grip bench 405 for reps,
Right.
right? Or they already did that fucking workout.
Right. Yes. Agreed.
Their
Agreed.
triceps were not built on just that extension.
No. No.
That was something what came after a lot of work,
Yep.
you know. You had us do the that really fancy chest pull down in our training program.
Mhm.
What's that called? I don't even remember what you labeled it, but it was laying one like the shoulder on the bench and then reaching this way
Oh,
and then
yes.
pulling down.
That sagittal plane pull down. Yes. Yes.
Yes. And I was laughing because I was like, these are awesome because they superset like honestly, we supersetted them with John Jewett pull down.
Yep. Yep.
And I was like, that was stupid. But then Zach was like, some kid is gonna see us doing these and be like, that's what they're doing to be big. And he doesn't realize what, we I used to deadlift 6 plates for reps.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I think I even wrote in there like I hate that this combo feels this good. Like I literally hate
Yeah.
it. Because at the end of the day, like you're exactly right. Like what a young kid doesn't see when I was in 23, 24, 25, I had a 25-pound weight strapped to my waist doing pull-ups. Like where I am with my back and lat training now is so different than where I came from. Like I, I always wonder, and I don't wonder because I remember when I trained a lot of Ty's buddies, there was like a clear group of kids. Like if you took their wrestling team, split them down the middle, probably half of them could do good pull-ups and the other half couldn't do one. And I'm like, you're 16, 14 to 18 years old and you can't do a singular pull-up? And you're a wrestler? That's scary for me. And I remember telling them, like, the ones who can't do it have to figure this the fuck out. It only comes one way. You got to jump on that damn bar and do it as many times as you can. If you can't do one, just hang there and try to pull as hard as you can until eventually you'll do one, and then two, and then six, and then 10, and then you'll be like this other group who can crank them. And I'm like, you either need to lose body fat and or get stronger.
Hmm.
As simple as that. But going back to your point, like, I definitely have you all do, and I can consider like some cuter things for lats, right? But if you notice, then it's like you go row your fucking balls off. And it's like, if someone sees the same you do Dante rows, they'll be like, oh, that's fancy. And I'm like, yeah, but did you see the meta rows he pulled for fucking 6 quarters and a chain on there? Yeah, like there's a harmony of like you need some meat and potatoes, but then if you like look at your physique, you need lower lat for your back double. Well, when I'm starting out at 185 pounds, I should never think, man, Chris, I really need to give myself some more low lat. No, motherfucker, I got to get bigger. Like
Yeah.
there is no, I don't have a singular weakness. My whole body's weak. Like Even if like, I had good legs and good calves, but guess what? They were still small compared to they are now. So I need to train those fuckers with intensity. Like, I don't need to think like, oh, I can like back off my when you're young. If you're small, do not think even if a body part's developed, do not back off of it. Hammer to the fucking ground and blow that bitch out. Like I'm a big believer in that. Like, if you create a crazy imbalance at 25, we can fix that. But dear God, don't slow down because you're like hyper specificity like training program. And you're like, oh, I need to train arms 4 times. No, you don't.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that one's always comical. The that 90% of people are just going to need to do a basic fucking program and get really good at that.
Correct.
And
Yes.
that's like the unsexy side of the sport,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it because like it blows my mind how many people are like, man, the my feedback I got from my shows, but my hamstrings aren't great, so I'm not going to train quads anymore. I'm just going to focus on hamstrings. It's like, bro, your quads suck too.
Right.
But the like the that's probably not the call.
Right.
Exactly what you said. The like everything needs to get better.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
like don't focus on, when you go to that gym and you train hamstrings, maybe pay attention to why they suck,
Yes. Yeah.
versus like trying to overload them with all of the things,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know. Take one step back and be like, am I putting effort into my hamstring curls or am I just fucking around?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
What's
And
interesting,
then
like, go ahead, sorry.
from there, like play with order exercise selection.
Mhm.
Like if your hamstrings are your last movement on your leg day and you're just tired as hell and you're doing 15 pounds on the leg curl,
Right.
the second notch on the second fucking hole down for 10 reps and you're calling that a day,
Yeah.
move them up to exercise one and see if you can get the whole fucking stack
Right. Yeah.
over time. At
Yeah.
least go to the third fucking hole down,
Yeah.
if your hamstrings are that bad. But
Yes.
like,
Yes. I would say like 4 years ago, I looked at my stage shots and I was like, man, I'm really unhappy with my adductors. And all I did was make a concentrated effort to make sure that I gave as much energy and effort to adductors as I did to hamstring curls. And then my top set or hardest set of leg press, I did it with a wider stance and made my adductors work during that set. That was literally it. And the next thing you know, they were fixed. Like, so I just made sure one exercise was to the fucking death and I tracked it progressive overload. And then I took a stereotypical quad movement and just made my feet a little bit more biased to adductor to where they worked. And I guess what I did that back to back. So it was like adductor machine to that leg press, or I'd do a belt squat the same way, and it worked wonders. I didn't create some special adductor day, and that's why so many people do. They're like, oh, my brachialis needs to improve. I'm just gonna do nothing but a hammer curl PM training session. Bro, that is not it. And I understand. Like one of my good competitors, he came to me, I want to say about a year ago, was like, Chris, my rhomboids really suck. And I said, man, I think if we just blow your whole back out, that won't be an issue. Like, and he's like, well, don't you think my rhomboids are bad? I was like, yeah, but so are your lats and so are your traps. So let's just grow it all. And he's like, okay. Like,
yeah, I mean, sometimes it may just be a matter of, instead of grabbing a sledgehammer, you're grabbing a ball peen hammer for that body part.
yes. Yeah.
Like I've had plenty of dudes who are just like, you send them training videos, and they're doing a row, but their arm's always up here.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. Lower that weight and keep that elbow down here.
Yes. Yeah.
Like we need your lats to work more. That's
Right.
all it is,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And then their ego is like, but I'm stronger here. When I'm here, I'm weak. It's like, well, that's why we're doing this.
Right.
And then 4 weeks later they're keeping their elbows down the other side and their lats are coming out. You're like, and they're like, oh wow, I'm getting stronger, even stronger at this movement.
Yes. When people say that
And
to
I'm
me,
also not getting this fucking rotator cuff pain.
oh yeah, no shit.
you know like it's like,
I'll
oh cool.
yeah. What I always tell guys when they come back to me, like, but I'm stronger right here. And I'm like, well, of course. I was like, look at your body. The muscle when your elbows are high are developed. The muscle where your elbow is tucked is undeveloped. So you have less tissue to pull with. And like I think when they make that connection of like, okay, like speaking of that specifically, like my lat sucks, my upper back is strong. It's like, okay, cool. Like, what if I made my lats as strong as my upper back? Oh, it's gonna be bigger. Like, then when you marry that idea, it's like, huh, like that's how bodybuilding. That's bodybuilding to me, right? Like, if let's say this isn't you, but let's say your hamstrings are weak and you're quad dominant. If I suddenly like took all your movements and I made them a little bit more hamstring focused, like I made you move your feet a little bit higher up on the leg press and the hack squat, you're still getting quad, but you're like, but Chris, I have to take two plates off. Well, yeah, because your hamstrings suck. Like, I'm not letting you bias where you have muscle. I'm just taking it and saying, hey, like, let's get a little accessory work on those hamstrings with the leg press, with the hack squat, even though
Yeah.
you're still going to get quad off of it. Then we do our leg curls. Then we do finish with our RDLs. Guess what happens? Next thing you know, a year and a half, 2 years later, you suddenly have hamstrings. And it's like, you didn't have me do a hamstring day? Nope. Like, I tell people this all the time. John gave me shoulders and hamstrings just by teaching me how to train them. I didn't do anything special. I didn't meaning I didn't have like a frequency model of 3 times a week for hamstrings to fix it. I didn't even have a hamstring day. He said, hey, train them first with leg curls, finish with RDO, and then dump your fucking soul into it. Yes, sir. Got it. All right, rant number two.
Yeah.
This is food related. Oh my God. This makes my soul cringe because even though I like the premise of a carnivore or keto diet on paper for the general population, I need people to realize that it's not the diet, it's a calorie deficit that's forcing them to lose body fat. And it's why it's successful. It isn't that carbs are the devil. And it makes me go batty because those people die on the hill of carbs are killing you and they don't, that's the reason they never got lean. Where I'm like, your inability to portion control carbs or eat them at the proper time or eat the right kind of carbs is the reason they made you fat, not the macronutrients. Like
Yeah.
fruit, I don't care. You could eat a bushel of fucking blueberries a day and you wouldn't be fat.
Mhm.
Why?
Oh, it wouldn't happen. The I laugh at that all the time. Like with people and their carb sources, it's just like, do you know what 300 grams of rice of carbs from rice looks like?
Right.
Right? Do you want to eat 9 cups of cooked rice?
Right.
9 cups. You're
No.
gonna fucking stop,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
But and then that's the other thing. Like people always demonize fucking carbs, and they're like, "Man, carbs make me fat." Now, the carbs in question are donuts and pizza,
Right. Yes.
or Five Guys.
Right. Yes. Right.
You know, it's like you do realize that donut has more calories from fat than carbs, right?
They don't. No, I really believe they
Like,
don't.
and it's not like fats are bad; it's just a fuck ton of calories.
Yes.
You know, no shit, you got fat eating pecan pie. You know, like that one should be common sense.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yeah. You know what I would love to do for a visual is so Daxon went trick-or-treating on Friday, giant bag full of candy. I wish I had the patience to like sit down and figure the total math of carbs and fat from all the candy he collected, dump it out on the table and have them there. And then on the left of that, have a pile of equal carbs from rice and equal carbs of fat from, say, almonds or almond butter. And let people just take that in of like the candy pile is going to be like this, and the rice is going to make you laugh because it's enormous.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's also kind of fucking crazy. Like the only good candy bars where people are giving out are Reese's Cups and Snickers. And it's like
right,
if you're going for your kids' candy and eating like the bagged Hershey's, like what's wrong with you? Like those aren't even good. Like I fully understand those Reese's pumpkins, but
right.
like cool, stop at one. Like, you know, if you had one during the off season, I don't give a shit.
No,
But like
no,
breaking down to eating 8 of them, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
right. Or a whole bag. You need to eat the whole bag.
Yeah.
And I think that's like what makes me go so crazy is like those people get on those carnivore keto diets and they preach to the world how effective they are, but they don't understand like why they work. And all they did was remove your ability to eat bullshit. Because if you're on the carnivore diet and you can only eat meat, what are you going to eat that's technically bad? And the answer is nothing. Like, you're going to eat animal protein? Awesome. You're going to get lean. No shit. Where if you eat like you and I
Yeah.
do, Ichiban or a Japanese steakhouse that loads their rice full of oil isn't the same rice that you and I eat out of a rice cooker. It's also, if we eat 200 grams of rice, it isn't 300 or 400. Or, oh, I'm really hungry. And the reason those keto and the carnivore work is the fat is so high they keep them satiated. Or you get unlimited amounts of meat until you're full, and that's why it works. Because again, it goes back to satiation. Like where on a meal plan like you and I might suggest for say fat loss is you're going to have restraint. There's going to be times when you want more than what I've given you. And where you and I marry that feeling and sensation in our brain to, oh, we're getting leaner, most people view that as prison or I'm being deprived or he's an asshole. Like where I know in my heart, my long-term performance will drastically outweigh anyone on that carnivore and keto diet. Because guess what
Mhm.
muscle requires for explosive movement? Fucking carbs.
Yeah. Well, it's also like in the off season, like most people, I mean, I have eaten every single one of your plans in the off season to some point.
Yes. Yep.
Into like, there's definitely been times I've had food fatigue that I'm like, fuck food.
Yes. Yeah.
But most of the time in the off season, I'm still having to be like, I finish a meal and I'm like, I could definitely eat more, and I have to shut it. I'm not just gonna keep eating
Correct. Yep.
because that's where that's where bodybuilding is kind of fun. Is like the time and place for the food matters so much.
Yes, agreed.
Because like I eat meal one pretty much every single day, and I'm like, I could use an extra piece of bread, or an extra egg, or an extra piece of steak.
Yep.
Like I could probably eat an entire 10-ounce steak for breakfast, and
Right.
on top of my current meal plan.
Yes. Yep.
But if I did that, it fucks up the rest of my day.
Correct. Yep. Yep.
If I do that, I can't eat meal two. This on if meal two at 10 o'clock is not happening,
Right. Yeah.
right? And if meal two at 10 o'clock doesn't happen, that means my 1 o'clock meal is probably going to be later than two, and then that means my pre-workout meal is going to be really fucking close to my workout.
Right.
And
Yes.
then because it's sitting in my stomach, my intra is not going to work
Right.
because I ate my pre-workout meal and immediately walked into the gym, and I'm going to try to drink 50 grams on carbs on top of my 100 grams of carbs. I think I have 130 on pre-workout meal right now.
Yep.
So I'm going to drink an extra 50 grams of carbs on top of my pre-workout meal and then try to train legs.
Right.
Cool. I'm going to feel like shit. I'm going to perform like shit,
Yep.
and then I got to go home and try to eat another 150 grams of carbs. It's like, no shit. No, that's why that's why I had to have restraint for meal one.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
It's pretty fucking easy.
Yes.
It's not what it's like. Cool. I'm not starving. I just had a big ass meal for breakfast. I'm just holding back from what I could eat.
Right.
And that's where bodybuilding is. That's where that discipline has to be there, because if I ate just what I wanted to eat, it's gonna fuck up the rest of my day.
Yep.
You know, and I could get away with a lot if I wanted to,
Well,
but how much can I actually track that and manage it when I want to improve,
right.
right? Because like if I just ate a fuck ton, like cool, I'm probably gonna grow, but like when it comes to flipping the gear and be like, okay, ready for a show, how much you eating? Like I don't fucking clue.
Right. Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's just eat less than that. Like, what does that mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Versus now, like, if you're like, okay, cool, we're gonna take a piece of bread out of meal three
Well,
and remove the almond butter in the last meal.
right.
I lose a pound and a half. You know, oh, boom. How do you get ready for? How do you slim down so easy? Fuck, it's that.
Right. Yes. The amount of change I can get you or me or anyone who nails the plan all year with removing 75 grams of rice or 50 grams or 100 grams of rice from say, like I'm never gonna remove 100 grams. Let's say you're at 350 or say 300 and I take you to 250, I can get progress out of that.
Yeah.
You don't even notice it for the most part. Like that I removed 50 grams from say three meals. Like, and the next thing you know, you're like, huh, I'm leaner today. Yeah, no shit. Like I simply took you from 300 grams of cooked rice to 250 grams of cooked rice. Like, what is the reduction there? Well, it goes from 74 to 68. Okay. Why did that work? Because you've been nailing 300 grams for the last 3 months.
Hmm.
And your body's like, oh, change, reduction. I don't need to be as heavy anymore. Okay, awesome. Remove it.
Yeah.
And like that's the magic of our meal plan and how we structure a progressive plan to not only get bigger and stronger in the all season, but then when it comes time to getting lean, each season you should be able to eat more food. And like that's why I always tell people like long-term clients of mine succeed because it's always progressive. It's never just like,
Mm.
oh, you're back for another contest season. Awesome. You're eating 4,000 calories just like 2 years ago. Oh,
Yeah.
your starting weight is still 238. No. Those numbers are always going this way for the most part.
Hmm.
So
Well,
yeah.
I'm laughing about that now. I mean, like the my start weight for last season's prep was 228, you know, and I'm sitting above that in a health phase, you know. So like something fucking changed.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, all that fucking meat on your back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So it's like, all right, cool. We know the food worked. You know, food and training definitely did its job. You know, and well, being in a health phase, obviously, all of that was in gear.
right. Yeah,
You know,
yep,
so it's like, all right, cool. Well, something worked.
right.
And
It-
then the fun thing is like that's bodybuilding is just progressive because it's just like this health phase is going to end. We're going to push food up even fucking higher. We're going to push my performance up even fucking higher.
right. Yes,
And then we'll go into a show at that point.
correct. Yep. I just had that same talk with Chris on Saturday. So no, he sent me something on Friday. And I think he was just under 230 in a health phase like you are. And I said, man, as soon as we like take food bag up and add supplements in, I was like, you're gonna be like mid to high 230s within 3 or 4 weeks. Easy. And that's what people don't get is his composition is very similar to yours right now. It's like abs are still deep, vascularity through the arms and the legs, glutes are squared off. Like it's a better composition at a higher body weight in a health phase. And that only comes from years of nailing this shit. And I know that's not sexy to people to hear, but it's like prep to rebound to off week to health phase to off season mass gain to prep in that cycle, not steroid cycle, folks. I don't know. I know there's all those fancy words like mesocycle and all that bullshit. I don't know any of the fucking shit that means. All I know is that I call that the cycle of bodybuilding or successful bodybuilding. And that's how I've been able to take people that look like they probably should have no business on stage, and you give me 5 years of that cycle, and then they're like, oh fuck, what did you do to him or her? They nailed the plan. And everything improved: nutrition, training, sleep, rest, recovery. They learned how to do bodybuilding for their life or whatever their given sport or endeavor is like, which is why it's interesting because to tie it back to this topic before we wrap it up is like I don't deprive you from any macronutrient. I always feel like those people who do those extreme carnivore keto diets, there's going to come a part in your life where you eat carbs again. And then what? It's like giving a crack addict who's been off of crack for 2 years. You can't give them just a taste of that shit, man. They're going to go full tilt and they're going to gain all that fat back. Or sorry, they're going to become a drug
But
addict again.
it's such a funny concept too, because like if you took someone like me
Mhm.
and you had me eat just meat,
Right.
like we could have a fucking wild transformation.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Dave in 4 weeks went from not fat to shredded,
Yes.
you know.
Right.
But like, what happens after that point?
Right.
Oh, cool. I'm eating zero carbs. My train performance is probably fucking terrible.
Agree.
You know, cool. I got lean. I'm definitely going to lose muscle there because my training performance is going to go in the fucking toilet.
Right. Yep.
You know, if I my training performance is doing fantastic at 700 grams of carbs a day, like it's probably not going to do fucking fantastic at zero.
No, no.
You know, and yes, I will lose body fat like crazy just fucking existing. Like I probably couldn't even. If I just took 3 weeks off and just ate meat
Right.
at 2,000 calories a day, I'm going to lose a fuck ton of fat
Yes. Agreed.
just because how my body is. Like I have a lot of muscle on me, and I don't have a ton of body fat already to begin with.
Right.
My
Right.
metabolism is phenomenal
Yes.
because we've built that.
Right.
But the question that happens is, what do I do after that point?
Yes. Agreed.
And that is the game of chess of bodybuilding. What most people don't realize.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, cool. Oh, you want to do a prep? You want to do a prep in 8 weeks? Okay, cool. Let's do 4 hours of cardio and two rice cakes a day, post worth, and everything else is meat.
Yeah. Right.
Cool. Let's get you fucking lean. Oh, what happens after that 8 weeks? Oh, you did fine at the bodybuilding show. Oh, your thyroid's super down regulated. You have your cortisol levels are fucking through the roof, and you don't sleep at all.
No.
Cool. All right, cool. Let's go back to a normal fucking diet where, that won't happen. They're gonna binge their fucking face off, and it's like, oh, cool. How did I put on 40 pounds of body fat in 2 months?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, you want to prep again?
Right.
What's same rice cake in a cardio program?
Right.
It's like no wonder the fuck you look the same.
Right. Because listen, this is me speaking honest from training normal people for a long time. We are heading into what I would consider like the death zone of people's progress, right? And listen, I've seen it with competitors, normal people, people who I thought were locked in. Like Halloween hits and they're like, well, I start having some candy. And then Thanksgiving hit and then that whole like, let's say the 20th of November through, I want to say January 3rd is just parties, festivals, fucking Friendsgiving to Christmas to holiday meals to, well, I'm going to eat on Christmas Eve and I'm going to eat on Christmas Day. And then we have leftovers on the day after. And my mother-in-law's coming in. Like, it's a fucking train wreck. And then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, that carnivore diet that you were following goes out the fucking window because you and I both know that like the moment you put some Chex Mix into your fucking mouth or eat a brownie or a cookie or one of those white chocolate covered Oreos that I personally love, you're eating the whole box because it is literally triggering a thing in your brain. It's like eat, 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 eat. You haven't had this. It tastes amazing. I'm not full. Huh. It's gonna take a lot longer to get back on that just steak diet when everyone else is eating ham biscuits and turkey and like which could be good. Mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, fill in the blank, rolls, gravy. Like it's just really hard. Where you and I could go have a Christmas meal, not even blink at it. All right, cool. We're back on the next day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a
Yeah.
great, great
And
pub.
if anything that that was one meal out of six.
Yes. Yep.
We didn't just have Thanksgiving meal and just like disregard the rest of the fucking day.
Or yes. Yep.
And most funny thing is like to take it into reality, like, cool, I'm gonna have meat, I'm gonna have carbs, I'm gonna have some fats, I'm probably gonna have some fucking dessert. So
Yes.
like the only thing out of the norm for that fucking meal for me is the dessert.
Yes. Yep.
So like cool, I'm having the turkey, the lean protein source. I'm gonna have mashed potatoes, probably mac and cheese,
Right.
and I some kind of side or whatever.
Yep.
Like in the reality of the off season, that's pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm not gonna this is pretty fucking close for fuck. I'm not gonna do that for 3 weeks straight.
No. No.
You know, that's a I'm gonna have a meal or two with my family on Christmas, Thanksgiving,
Yes.
maybe New Year's, but that meal is gonna be not far off from what I'm doing anyways. And everything else, 3 meals out of the whatever that is there in that 40-day window,
Right. Yeah.
3 out of whatever number that is a pretty good number
Yeah.
for and in the off season. Like that's what you need,
Yeah. And I
you
mean,
know.
here's the great thing, right? Let's say you do, I'm going to talk to two different scenarios. Let's say you do Thanksgiving with your family in the middle of the day. You're going to have at least 2 meals before you go eat that, which are going to be hearty
Mhm,
meals. Okay. Then you're going to eat that and knowing you have to eat 3 more the rest of the day.
mhm,
Even if you say you took the easy way out, and one of those meals was a Ninja Creamy and cream of rice, which may be eating air. And another meal was like a protein powder, oats, and peanut butter. And you only have to eat one other whole food meal, but you'll still hit all your macronutrients and still have a nice meal with your family. I won't overeat knowing that I still have to get 3 meals in. Now, another scenario, let's say it's at nighttime. I'm going to have four, probably 5 meals before I go to Thanksgiving, and I'll make that my final meal. Well, if I've already eaten 5 times of like what you and I consider a normal meal, I'm not going to want to be gluttonous because there's no more stomach space. So I've set
yeah,
myself up to be successful because I still ate all my normal meals and then I just had an extra program meal that I have in there and set up. And people don't realize that the worst thing, in my opinion, you can do is like I've had clients, I fasted all day until 6 p.m. Dave, if I make you fast all day and then say, hey, have whatever you want for Thanksgiving, how much are you going to eat?
All of it. Yeah, no
Oh, yeah,
joke.
all of it. Like, you listen, you or I may walk away from that table like 5,000, 6,000 calories deep, like easy. Where
Yeah,
if I, on my normal meals, I might eat 1,000 calories or maybe 1,500 worth of
yeah.
food that isn't perfect, as opposed to just a gauntlet of 5 to 6K of bullshit my body's not used to as a whole. Like, and I think that
Mhm.
most people just don't understand that. Like, it's just literally managing a plan within still making your wife, girlfriend, family happy and being able to eat with them and like not stress out about it. Like the meal you laid out of, turkey, mashed potatoes, a couple rolls, macaroni and cheese, and two brownies and two cookies, I'm not stressing about one singular bit. None, none. But
Yeah,
if I,
you
if
know,
I,
and then the next meal turns back into back being on plan. That's like, you
right.
know, that the reality of the holidays is the next meal stays that fucking shit.
Mhm.
You
Yep.
know? Oh, cool. Then I had instead of meal six, I had four more cookies. So
Or
then I woke up the next day and I did an hour of cardio and I skipped meals one and two and fasted. And
yeah,
then I opened the fridge and there was leftovers, so I ate that.
right.
You know,
Yeah,
and then four more cookies. So and then I skipped meal five because I was had indigestion from all the shit I ate.
yeah,
And then meal six, I just ate a pint of Ben and Jerry's.
right. With pizza.
And you continue that trend for the next week and a half, and then it's Christmas.
Right. And then it's Christmas, so fuck it. Right? Right. Like, because that's what so many people do. They just throw their hands up like, fuck it, I've already eaten like bullshit. I might as well do it for one more week. And I'm like,
Mhm.
no, fix your next meal. Make the next one perfect. Like, I always lean on that, like, if you took, say, 80 grams of cream of rice from Bowl Gaines, made whey drip and almond butter and a banana, man, that's so easy to get down. And it's like candy and dessert. Like, just have that next if you have a sweet tooth or you're thinking, like, man, it'd really be nice to go in there and have some more fill in the blank. If you make that meal or have a Ninja Creamy or whatever your favorite bodybuilding meal is, make it. Like if it's steak and potatoes, if it's eggs and oats or eggs and sourdough bread and French toast, however, like making breakfast pancakes with egg whites, just do that and you won't feel deprived. You're like, oh, this is a great meal that I love and look forward to. Like if you can't get behind eating those Bowl of Games waffles that I posted on YouTube, man, like I'm sorry, your taste buds are trash. Like you just want to eat shit food. Like I'm not saying that you'll finish Thanksgiving and want to go right into like chicken, rice, and olive oil like maybe you or I would, but there's got to be something in your bodybuilding menu that you're like, man, that meal right there hits. I want that. Like I believe that in my heart. I've just trained too many people, but the problem is they don't problem solve that. They're like, well, Chris has fish and salad as my next meal. I'm like, bro, that could change to anything else. Like, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be that. So. There's some early holiday eating advice from Chris and Dave.
right.
You gave me three topics last week. We've only covered one in 2 weeks.
That's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. All right, guys and girls, until next time, Chris and Dave, we are done.